Welcome back to the Laurence McKenna channel. It's good to have you guys. Remember, we're still keeping a little bit of a secret here. If you're going to share it somewhere. I do feel the secret's a little bit out, but if you're going to share it somewhere private. That's all. Secret's a little bit out though, okay? Just a little. Let's talk about Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, because they got a great win last night against Wolves. Absolutely fantastic result. 2-1 late. It was 1-1. I mean, it's even 1-0 for a long time. There's 1-1 very late on. Everyone's like, okay, we'll settle for a draw here, but we're missing out on top four. Our cameraman, Rovan, in the studio was walking around. He was slightly down because people had their bets within the crew of who will win that night. And he was quite buoyant before. He thought, I can feel something here. He walked past me. He was like, oh, it's 1-1. It's, we're missing out on top four now. Next thing I know, a notification comes up on my phone. 96 minutes, Lacazette. Suddenly, this guy's jumping around the room. Everyone else is laughing. And you can see the hope. You can see that moment of, we can still make top four. Our dream is still alive. And you know what? Mikel Arteta is keeping that dream around. And he's actually building on it. And the weird thing is, if you look at this side, you have to go back and look at the Arsenals that come before in order to appreciate this one. And what's strange about it is it was so recent. If we go back just before the depressing Unai Emery era, which the club just didn't feel like they knew what their identity was. They didn't know if they could trust their owner with the custodianship of the club. They didn't know if they were going in the right direction post Arsene Wenger. And even then, they didn't know if they were going in the right direction under Wenger, because they were always going for top four. So why now did a club that so long ago was almost turning its nose up, or some of the elements of the fans were turning their nose up at top four, or they knew they could be higher, we're now in an era where top four seems incredibly exciting? Are they being reminded of other values at the club which seemed a little lost, and maybe publicly have they been a little humiliated because of some of the public faces of the club, but also some of the jibes that come with that? Are we looking at the fact that people called Arsene Wenger senile, called him old, and now we watch him on TV and you see this erudite, elderly man, but erudite, great at speaking, really great communicator, someone who would clearly be able to lead these players into something new. Before that, you go back a little further, it was Mourinho versus Wenger versus Sir Alex Ferguson. It was Mourinho versus Ferguson for quite a while, but Wenger was still in the mix there. He was keeping Arsenal competitive. They were still going for top four for quite a while, and they were certainly a better team than the likes of Liverpool and Spurs. So, and possibly even Man City. So you look at that and then you go, before that era, they were competing for titles. So quickly that dropped off. So quickly it felt like that wasn't really the hope anymore, and they needed a couple more pieces in order to get there, but they were still an entertaining and respectable team. Go back before that a little more, you got the Wenger revolution, where there are toothbrushes for every player, and there's a water feature apparently, either in the gym or in the dressing room. Players were learning to relax, players were learning to change. We've got to get some drinking culture out of this club, come on guys. Before that, then you go back and you've got the 1-0 to the Arsenal. So within recent memory, there is a lot of Arsenal in there that you can go, right, there's a lot of big cultures there that the fans have supported each of those, and the fans have been integral to part of that identity. The players' relationship with the fans was so important. But they seem to have lost their way. And that was not only on social media, where people were making fun of the rants and the other aspects, but, and by the way, a lot of people also enjoy those, so let's not just completely cast those aside like maybe I have in previous times. There are a lot of people who really enjoy that. Go back to before Arteta, and you've got Unai Emery. The club doesn't seem like they know where they're going. They have to get rid of Emery. The fans already don't really seem that confident on him. And then you bring in Mikel Arteta, and there is an element of, this guy's graduated, this guy's come out of the University of Pep Guardiola, and there are so many people who are backing him, but now it's time for you, yes, you, to prove yourself. Because we all know that graduates go straight into huge jobs and do well instantly. With that came a lot of pressure on Mikel Arteta, and this pressure on Arsenal to build around him. But with that also comes the fact that you have to do that very publicly, because so many other teams are being so performative, and so many other teams are showing how they have their own revolution on. If you're not keeping up with their revolution, then you must be behind the times, surely. Or maybe not. Maybe it's that he wants to come in and make a quiet revolution. Victory through harmony. Where's that from? That's right, victory through harmony is Arsenal. And now it's victory through unity, it seems, with Mikel Arteta. As you walk into the training ground, you've got him embracing the Arsene Wenger era, not throwing it away, not calling him a senile old man, not being insulting to someone who, by the way, helped build that training ground, helped build that new stadium, helped give people the foundation and hope they deserved at one point, helped also to unite a fan base around one person. pretty incredible, really, when you look back at the Wenger era, that he survived that long, that he went that long, and that he built all of this. And that these owners who were so poor at that time were really relying on him to make Arsenal what it was at that point. That this revolution could happen because of him. So when you see his picture up on the wall walking into the training ground, the players high-five it because he's got his hand out. On the other side of that, it's about finding your greatness. The Arsene Wenger quote, I believe it is, about digging in and finding that greatness. Where is it in there? Where can we get that out today? Then there's another one about seizing the day, or making the most of today, making the most of your opportunities, making the most of your talent, something along those lines up on the wall. Sure, I've read a few articles. And then you've got the other aspect of him talking about unity almost constantly, and how there needs to be this unity back at the club. Up engraved on the wall, according to Amy Laurence's article, is a tree in one of the common spaces at the Arsenal training ground. The roots, the trunk of the club, the branches of the staff, the leaves of the players. Some of those leaves have fallen off, the likes of Aubameyang. Maybe a leaf that looked a little too healthy to fall off, but still one that probably had a bit of tree rot, or whatever you want to call it. What's that thing that kills all those trees at that same time of the year? Comment below. What's your favourite tree? Then you've got that idea being put throughout the club where it seemed that was lost. Arteta said, I came back into the team and I didn't see that anymore. I didn't see that between the staff and the players. I didn't see that players and the people off the pitch. I didn't see that between the players and the fans. So he needed to build that unity, and that was always going to be a bit of a slow burn here. It's very difficult to build unity in anything but an authentic way, because without that, that's basically just sort of surface bonds. And then it was also about the revolution on the pitch. So if people are going to try and undermine the revolution on the pitch, and if they do lose games, you've still got this other thing going over the top, which is, hey, we're still trying to come together as a club. Remember that. We're still in a process here. And this process isn't anywhere near finished for Arteta or the team. So why would you want to undermine what's going on the pitch if you can see what's being built off the pitch is going so well? And he's done that very well. Then tactically, he's managed to work with players who a lot of people have written off. And sure, they've brought some really fantastic new players into the team, a lot of which have been doubted along the way, not least by me at times. And I'll admit, I had a lot of confidence in Arteta, but that Arteta confidence began to wane when other people went, well, there should be P&B for this. I forgot that they were building. I forgot how low that club had gone at one point. And I didn't remember that Arteta was building and building and building. And I'd forgotten that Liverpool were not that far away from building top four, being hopeful, where Rovin was just the other night for top four, and thinking, where do we build from there? Once we're in the Champions League, who else can we attract? Once we're here, what can we do there? That's what Arteta's doing here. He's making a culture which people want to go and be part of. That if you've got a club, why would you want to make it somewhere that people want to leave because it's a big corporate environment? Why would you want to make it a high turnover of players? That might work in some American football. That might work in some basketball. Not that it does always. Sometimes you have to build a dynasty. That makes sense. Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. You could compare Wenger, by the way, to Greg Popovich. Basketball stuff later. But the point is, he came in, he valued where the club had come from. He made them into something which resembled, similar to what a modern version of what Mikel Arteta wanted this Arsene Wenger team to be. And then he said, we're going to, we've got the confidence here. We're going to spend some money. We're going to do this. And Edu, alongside him, has built a core set of players that you can see what they're building around now. Weirdly, I would have gotten rid of Lacazette not long ago. Yes, I certainly would have gotten rid of Aubameyang. Wouldn't have gotten rid of Saka, some of those other young guys. Would I have gotten rid of Guendouzi in midfield? Possibly not, because I thought we had that. But clearly, there was an attitude difference between Arteta and some of these people who've left the club. And similar to what Poch did at Spurs, but not a copy, not a carbon copy, and certainly not anything which is like, oh, he's doing that because we should do that. He's got rid of some of the people who didn't seem to embody the values of what Arsenal wanted to be, what Mikel Arteta's Arsenal wanted to be. It's unity, it's all these, he keeps talking about unity all the time, and he's good at finding synonyms for that as well. So when you see the players so happy, when you see them all brought together, and when you see what they do on the pitch, you can see that that patience is being rewarded. And the patience of Arsenal fans has been tested in recent years. So let me know, Arsenal fans, what is it that you guys think comes next? Do you have to finish top four in order for the club to move forward, or is that too much of a jump? There are times where I wonder if they don't invest in that time, are they going to go into a Champions League group and have issues? Or is it the tactical genius and the tactical nous of what Mikel Arteta is doing and what he's learned from the likes of Pep Guardiola, what he's learned from the likes of the people around him, that will make a big difference? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be really interested to see, because he has done something special here. This is the first video of a few of them. I get the feeling I'm going to be speaking about Mikel Arteta again. So let's burn this candle slowly. But let me know what you guys think Arsenal are doing right now, where they're going, and how important a late win can be. Do you believe it embodies the fact that a club kept going, a team kept striving? Or do you think it goes the other way, where you really should have been winning the match in that time anyway? If that's the case, do Liverpool really deserve to win? Do City deserve to win if they score late? And do we just sort of put different values on teams who don't seem to have the very top of values? Do we say to those guys, well, you don't deserve this because you are this or you are that? And are we remembering old Arsenal when this is completely new Arsenal? Let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love. Bye.